What is up guys, Wraec here with a new video, and today we got a new event week in Idle Heroes. We also got a new update yesterday. I'm very quickly going over this because there are some very interesting changes, and I think I want to just give you some pointers towards it. Not going to make a huge event video, huge update video about this, but I want to throw you like the top information that you need to know out there. Also, what we got is some new weaponry of Valor, the treasures for TBB and SSM. We're going to test both of those treasures in this video. Short test, but it will be interesting, and I will tell you whether or not those are interesting for you and whether or not you want to have them. We're going to do a little bit more of an in-depth test obviously later after I had some more times to test it. Obviously, there's going to be a preview. We're going to go into the event as well. This time around, Clash of Illusion, nothing too fancy really. Gold's Treasury. We're probably mostly interested around the for the Star Souls. Maybe a little bit. Do we need Star Souls? Probably only Grimoire, honestly. Probably only Grimoire. And then we have to do the Sacred Workshop. SSM, of course, TBB treasures. Starts off with SSM this time, so fairly easy to obtain. You can even get this as like free to play if you have the 100 summons saved up. If you should do that, that's another question though. Little preview, if you're free to play, probably not. Probably wait for some better treasures. I think SSM alone doesn't profit enough from those. But we are going to go into depth a little bit in a second. Let me put out the little pointers for the update first. They mainly focused around one big thing for Flora's Adventure, where we got a new chapter. You can check that out. And then we got big shop changes. Starting off with a change to Diamond Fund, where we now have a 100 diamond limit. I was kind of annoyed by that, I'll be honest. I don't like when you change stuff I bought 6 years ago now and basically make it worse because it didn't have a limit before. It has a limit now. This gives you gems every 10 levels. Honestly though, for new players it's way better because you get this daily login reward. You get daily 290 gems, or well, it's lower for other players. I don't even know what makes it lower. You can tell me that in the comments, but for most players it was lower than 290. And then you basically get your gems every 10 levels, plus you get your daily gems until you have 100,000 in total from either of those sources combined. So 10 USD for top value still, so I don't really mind. I guess I would have received the next gems at level 430, which would have been in 2 years or something, so now I just get my gems a bit earlier, I guess, so it's okay. And then they changed up one very major thing, which was the shards. Not only where you can get them, you can get way more shards now in the for 3 stars, for example, but also for the 4 stars here. The limits of those have changed, and then they also changed the content of the hero shards, and this is actually a huge change and might need some adjustment in your gameplay, because the 5-star hero shards, the normal shards that you receive at many places in the game, those do no longer include the base versions of any Transcendence hero. So those usually did include, like for example Queen. You will no longer find Queen in here. It is no longer the case. Normal hero shards don't include base versions of Transcendence heroes. That is now a general rule. Elite shards, however, include only base versions of Transcendence heroes. So the contents of those two have been massively adjusted, and I'm honest, the base shards suffered a little bit from that, because you at least had a chance to get a few Queen copies, which would make them good. But I don't hate it. Also, one thing I didn't mention that, I forgot about that, those do now include light dark copies of non-Transcendence heroes. So you can get Ada, you can get Russell, you can get all of that also in here, which I mean is interesting, pretty cool. In early game, if you pull like a carry or something, can be a decent value for the start. You can now obtain that fairly easily. It's still 0.57 chance, so not super high, but decent. Same, by the way, goes for the faction shards. The base shards also don't include Queen anymore, or any hero that is a base version of the Transcendence heroes. The elite shards of the respective factions, which we only have for light dark, include only base versions of Transcendence heroes, so you can get those in there as well. Fairly interesting. What it means for me, honestly, I will do one change. I usually went ahead and I cleared Seal and Dark first, because I wanted to go in there, and every single day you get the light and dark crystal from that. So let's take 45 as an example. If we cleared 45, it's 110 light and dark crystal for every single attack. And if we have the same here, it's 110 for color crystal. So it's the same amount of those two currencies. And then you go into the shop and you notice, well, the dark and the light faction, they are twice as expensive as the elite shards. And honestly, for me, the amount of high value copies is a little bit more important than the quality. So I would rather get 2 times the amount of elite shards with the current content, because, well, they have pretty high value content now, than getting the dark shards. It's not that important for me to get like an Espen or something from it. So I will actually switch my Sealand farming from Dark SL, which I used to do before, to one of the other normal faction SLs. So we can go for Fortress or Shadow, whatever, it doesn't matter, for one of those. You guys can decide in the comments which one we clear, because I noticed we only have Dark at 50. Decide for one Shadow, Abyss, Fortress or Forest. Tell me down in the comments, we will clear one of those in live stream or in a video, and get ourselves this SL up so that we can get the max amount of 4-color crystal and farm those in the future. I mean, the content is nice. If you check this out, you have also the light and dark heroes at relatively low chances, but it doesn't matter too much for me anymore. They even have Maria in here. I hope they keep those up to date, honestly. I wonder if they are going to do this when we get like the new Dark Hero and, well, his Transcendence version, if he's going to enter those shards as well. I hope so. I hope they keep them up to date and don't keep them docked at this state forever, because this is going to be outdated in a few years, and this always happens so fast. It's actually crazy. So I'm going to go and farm those elite shards now, and you should be at least aware of this change. Because it means you may want to adjust your farming. You can also get a few more copies now from different sources. Some of those shops have changed quite a lot. This one didn't. We have the Soulstone store now with a ton of shards. We just checked out, of course, this one. The guild store, I think, has changed too, though I don't think it's worth it too much. You can get copies here, but it costs like 18k if you have nothing else to do with your guild coins, and you can go for it, but I think it's rather expensive. I think Soulstone store is honestly very, very nice. 566k, look at how many copies I can buy with that now. That is actually mad. We're going to use those for some awakenings. I think that was about it. Oh yeah, this one. Arena store. I can't click on this, but this used to be one of those heart-shaped summoning items. Do I have them somewhere here? Are they? Yeah. It used to be those, the Radiant Soul Crystals, and you could buy 3 of those, I think, every single week. They changed this to Soulbound Crystals. So now you can buy 3 Soulbound Crystals, I think, for the same price every single week. So that kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. I was expecting this. It is one way, of course, for Starry Gem farmers to farm normal summons. Makes sense that the Age wants to block this, but of course, once again, hits normal players, hits free-to-play. Sucks. Yeah, can't really say much more to that. With that being said, that's really all for the update. I think we hop into the event. Event Card Clash obviously is the same. We could start off with just a few summons. I think we're going to do some awakenings. 100 SQH copies for this time. I think that's going to be pretty cool. She's going to be a little bit rarer now, I guess. Honestly, might be that we see higher SQH prices now, considering she's no longer available in like the normal 5-star shards. A few less copies out there. Especially for farmers. So, we have unused free awakens. Let's just do an awaken right here. Of course, SS tier on her. Would be interesting if we were to summon like an S tier during this. Imagine we just summon S Queen. It never happens. I'll be honest, it never happens. So we don't even think about it. So let's go. Only Transcendence heroes. Guess we have to get a little bit of trash out of the way before we can really get into our nice queens. Awakening item selection. What do we have here even? We don't really have a lot. We could do soulbound summons. I don't really want to. We're just going to do normal summons. I can do the soulbound summons alone, honestly, because they are way less hype. Because if we get S tier and it's soulbound, I'm going to cry. Starting off with B-, B+ speed tier is honestly crazy. But it's okay. Let's see if we can get a proper SQH. Yeah, and then we have to go over the treasures. Treasures, people had high hopes. I tell you that. Like yesterday when the event spoilers dropped and people were like, ooh, we're going to get TBB and SSM. Well, obviously the hopes were high. B tier, nice, we take it. But I thought, okay, the best thing that could happen if SSM got like another Omen. So like that he doesn't hit 3 heroes at the start, but 4 or something like that. And I mean, with these Star Alchemist Tom's Young treasures out there, and with the level they had, we could have received a madness there. We could have received an absolutely mad SSM treasure. Honestly, to have them at the power level of the Star Alchemist Tom's Young treasure, it could have been like, okay, there's a 10% chance that he just puts an Omen of Rift on like every enemy there. Could have been. Could have been. But no, he hasn't received that. Actually, nothing like that. It went into a completely different direction, and we're going to check it out. For TBB, I don't even know. I don't even know. TBB is like such a round hero, such a hero where at no point really say, okay, that needs improvement. I don't think there is that. If you think about early game, maybe. But once you have her in end game and you have like all your control position and CI offset and everything set up, what do you even want to improve? There's nothing to me. So, I wasn't even sure what they were going to do there. I didn't even have any hopes or any ideas for it. It turns out it's mostly damage. And one very interesting thing that I didn't really think about, we're going to test it in as well. But overall, the sentiment for many people was that they were kind of disappointed with those treasures, and I can kind of understand why. It wasn't really like this big breakthrough where they were super OP. That's pretty high roll copy for B tier. Where they were like super OP, and people were hoping for that. So, yeah, obviously. But it will also be unhealthy, I think. I mean, considering I have an X tier for SSM, I'm absolutely for them completely making super OP treasures for him. I mean, absolutely, no question about it. Let's get 2 packs right here. Pack number 1, pack number 2. We're going to go for the contract starry packs. If you need contract starry or starry gems, by the way, starry gems 70 to 80% cheaper. Well, actually 80 to 90, no, not 80 to 90. We got like 80% cheaper starry gems on SG Hub. Safest way for you to buy starry gems if you need them. Better than in-game because you get them at a way discounted rate. You can get like 10,000 starry gems for, what was it? 88 USD. And if you go through Stripe, it's even down to 84 USD. So absolutely cheapest way to get starry gems for this game and save a ton of events, honestly, on events. And that's definitely well worth it. I can give you a guarantee that you won't get scammed there. Met even me in the ticket. Met me handle your ticket. Because I still have to do that for a lot of them. But that's just the game, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, we're going to do another giveaway over there as well. So if you just want to win some starry gems, don't even want to buy anything, you can hop on over to SG Hub as well. Link is down in the description. And around Anniversary, there will definitely be a giveaway there. And also I'm going to do a live stream during Anniversary, and we're going to do a giveaway there as well. So 2 giveaways coming up, ton of starry gems that you can win. Definitely worth it. Let's do a quick smash here. What did we get? Oh, I forgot. Oh, that actually sucks. I should have claimed this before. Because it's actually not too great if you do the smash with like a lower amount of cards. Because it will put you like in the middle here. Do you see that? That kind of sucks. So we kind of screwed that up. Well, I did. Not you guys. I did. We hit 20 fairly flat. Okay. Reward preview. Oh, we have to clear that still. Okay, I mean, it's the same every single time we end on 19, so we didn't do too bad. I don't hate it. Awakening privileges. How well did we do? Oh, we actually got everything. 619 points. That's good. Doesn't happen every single time. Mysterious artifact chest with scissors this time. Very good. Let's check the rates. I mean, 2 B tiers in 100 summons I think is fairly okay. Not too bad. Not super good summons either. Contractual strategy. Quickly claim our few contract stories here. We like that. We have 45 over here. Flora's Picnic. We got the point details there. And I think the multipliers are in here, right? So times 6 would have been 15,000, so we didn't reach that yet, which is alright. I got 305 points overall there. The 5 points are, by the way, because I bought 5 hammers. I was re-rolling copies earlier. Point detail limit has been reached for this session without restarting the client. Usually I always have to restart. Open this. Normal chests. Normal chests. Kinda sucks. We take Origin Artifact chest on that. Usually those chests, though, maybe we can check this out. Mysterious Artifact, yeah, those include all artifacts. So that is what gives them value. I personally care more for the Origin Artifact chest, though. Rest we can claim all. Not bad. 40 slots, we take it. And always good amounts of Spiritual Essence. Still the main way in the game for me to get any Spiritual Essence. Let's quickly grab our loot here. Honestly, still want to do a few rerolls. I think we can still skip on the stellar overall here. Then we have this. We will definitely want to get our discounts on the sublimation. And then we go back and get ourselves some more rolls, which I'm never going to show. There are some people that will tell me, Wraec, why don't you show the rerolls of the star spawns on stream or something? That's like crazy boring. I really throw my phone in the corner and then I do something else and occasionally glance on the screen. I'm not even lying. I saw one time, I think it was like the S tier star going away on the screen, which was crazy. And the reason was, I think it had like a super high attack roll or something, but not higher in the stat that I was looking for. I just saw it and I wanted to like pause and tap the screen, but I had wet hands and it didn't work. Honestly, better for me. Because I would have kept it, and then my roll would have been lower. So I think DH's reroll function actually saved me from that. So that's kind of good. I actually need 4 of those. Not enough treasure coins. We are poor. Why are we so poor? Where are my treasure coins? What the hell? Did I forget something? Probably did. It's okay, we're just going to claim it later. We're going to get some more there. That's alright. We're set here. Are they in here? Gacha illusion. Ah, look at that. There they are. I was like, we always have the right amount of points at this point. So, I was a little bit confused there. I think we can buy one of those. Okay, that makes sense. Nice. Good. Have to do that later. I think we're going to hop into the treasures. I think that makes most sense. Let's quickly craft them all one time. And then we quickly send them all to 1 star for the moment. And we can quickly check them out over in their respective screens. Very quick rundown of what this does. We will check out TBB first. After releasing active skill, deals 1500% of attack damage to surviving enemies in order from lowest to highest HP. The damage coefficient is reduced by 100% for each subsequent target. This kind of mechanic is very, very normal for TBB. She has this in multiple skills. What this means is basically she will start dealing damage 1500% to the highest HP enemy, and then she will do the second highest HP enemy. That one will take 1400% damage. So 100% is deducted from that. And then the next one 1300, the next one 1200. And that is basically the way this works. That is also how our normal skills work. For you, it will just seem like one hit. It's tough to notice. Meanwhile, deals damage equal to 15% of target's lost HP to them, and then the same mechanic basically here, a little bit changed. This one is actually an interesting way how they changed this. The damage coefficient is reduced by 2% for each subsequent target, still kept at 1500%. That might actually make a difference. That might actually reduce the damage that you deal here. And if you upgrade it, it goes up to 2500% damage right here. And this goes up to 35%, but still with the 1500% cap. Yeah, I think 1 star is fine for this. Actually a decent amount of damage that you add to your ult. And what you have to keep in mind, the passive skill that results in her triggering her ult when her energy is full, that will also deal more damage with this. So this is fairly nice. Basic, we get a little bit of CC for the basic. It's not noteworthy in my opinion, because when you do the basic, you often get full energy and then you trigger the passive anyway, and that triggers the ult. So no point in having CC on the basic in my opinion. This one is interesting. When an enemy dies, deals 1200% of attack damage to surviving enemies in order from highest to lowest attacks, same as before. 80% chance to inflict blood binding, and of course chances reduced by 10% for each subsequent target. And usually you should run your TBB with enough control precision, either through treasures or through artifact or through the bonus stats, which you need at least B tier, by the way, for. It won't work for C tier. C tier, I think, can't have CI offset and control prac, so I think it starts at B-. Actually a B- and upwards exclusive stat. Very, very interesting. But this is very, very cool, because usually your performance suffers a little bit when there are less enemies, because that actually negatively impacts her energy recovery. So having like another CC effect on top of that can be very cool. And in PvP, there are some people that let some heroes die, obviously. IEA, LBRM. We talked about this in my guide about Star Souls. Definitely should check this out, by the way. Full guide about Star Souls with like a tier list and everything. Posted that a few days ago, so you should find it easily on my channel. this would trigger CC more often, making it harder to actually counter TBB. So this one is actually the important one. This gives her more PvP viability, and of course we can take the pink one and get a little bit of extra damage for that, which is nice in combination. But this is the important one, and we can upgrade this to a maximum 2000% of attack damage, which is pretty good damage. 80% chance to... Isn't that the same as at the beginning? So this didn't get upgraded. So getting this to 5-star, it's 800% damage and that's it. That's sad. That's sad. Okay, at 1-star this is fine. And then we have this one. Vary one enemy inflicted with Twine self has 60% chance to gain 1 layer of Bloodscar. When Bloodscar is stacked to 6 layers, consumes all of them, grants himself a shield, and grants Embrace of Pain to self for 6 rounds. I wonder if you can double inflict that. Usually that should not work. But if you CC a full team, she should get a shield. We take a shield. We like a shield. Embrace of Pain, when self takes control effect, consumes this skill effect and then removes the control effect. So it's 1 CC removal. You can add that on top of the other CC removal that is in the imprints, which is fairly cool. Let me check this out and show this to you. Wait, this is wrong. We don't actually have anything on him. On her, we have the max. I think we have this one, yeah. When self takes control effect, additionally increase self-control immunity for 2 rounds with 50% chance to remove 1 random control effect from self instantly. So fairly nice, honestly. We can quickly do a test on TBB and on our general performance there in Holo campaign. We can just battle. The second stage is the interesting one that we want to fight, and we don't want too much damage in there. Could have kept her, honestly. And then we're just going to go with the TBB. I guess you can come. This one got lost. And I want your core. And then we can check this out, and we can check out the damage this is going to do. Should be fairly nice. I could have done it before and after of the treasures. So again, full CC. I don't see anything for this Embrace of Pain stuff, honestly. She had a shield gain after attacking right now. Which is a bit confusing because those enemies are still CC'd. Might have been because of another skill effect. It's a bit tough to see, honestly, in PvE. Because the CC uptime from her is so good that I doubt it's actually going to matter too much. You would get an extra CC when an enemy dies. The question is, would we even see that? You should see way higher damage from her, though. But I don't think like it's a big gameplay change. If you run her in PvP, I think it's good. I think you run her in PvP. So there we had like another damage burst. I saw that. It's tough. I wonder if this is going to chain actually. Okay, but the last hit. That's crazy. That is crazy. That damage really didn't help her. Look at that madness. she got outclassed completely right here. That is mad. Yes, we wanna get rid of that. That is mad that she got completely outclassed. I mean, with the damage treasures, I would have expected that she does the highest damage. She doesn't have like super great stats right here, but she got Defier. She got Defier Giant Killer? I take that back. So Defier Giant Killer, she got like the big damage and everything. And then got completely demolished by my B tier. 100 million less attack Wraec. I think the problem might be though, she profits a lot from CCing an enemy, and you can't CC enemies that are CC'd. So I think that's a bit of an issue here. That's a bit of an issue. I don't have a proper PvP team set up for her. We can attack Lucius and just throw her in there. Maybe we just do like this. Can we just throw TBB in there and the team will work? I doubt it. I doubt it, guys. But we can try. We got Dazzled. That's a sadness. Oh, because we have... Oh, he had Oscar with the core. Okay, Oscar with the core. Would be countered actually by... Madness. Would be countered actually if we remove that. Oh, look at that. Oh, we can just... I don't know if Das Maul has the treasures. That's a sadness. You can attack VH, but he's going to be one-shot. I see the people with the TBB, but of course I don't know if they have the treasures, and if they don't have the treasures, then actually this is like completely pointless. But many people have her in the team. I reckon that's also kind of what the H intended. Like, you look at all the people and they all have her in the team. This is a huge one, by the way. I hate it. And they all have her in the team. And then, obviously, they put the treasures again at the second place, where you have to spend to get them. We can attack Androidian, but he has one hero less. So we can just maybe attack like this. I can see how much damage we can actually do. That is absolutely crazy turn 0 CC. That's crazy turn 0 CC. I have to say. I mean, that was not nice. That is really not nice. The funny thing is, if you hit them obviously with their active skill, that will have a chance to, or can remove the shapeshifting, because you will add a hit to the enemy. But if you just CC them with a passive skill triggered by getting full energy, that won't actually count as a hit. So she did really good damage here. I reckon PvP is more her style. I reckon if you go into PvP, she's going to profit way more from those treasures than in PvE. The damage in PvE is still kind of pathetic. Even with like those conditions, you saw Maria outdamage her. I can't fake that. That is a Defier Giant Killer S tier TBB with 400 million attack, getting outdamaged by a 300 million B tier with nothing really, and lower divine power. So PvE damage not really great. So that is the thing. Okay, let's check out the Mockman treasures. A little bit of a reminder, because we're going to go over the text now. Star Ascending is the blue stance he takes in the front line. Star Descending is the yellow stance he takes in the back line. Star Descending is the one where he hits the enemies multiple times and does a ton of damage. Star Ascending is the one with the counter attacks. So, that being said, and that is very, very important, let's go into the treasures. I was kind of hyped when I saw they were in Weaponry of Valor 2, because that's the same place where we got like the Star Alchemist Young treasures. But the effects didn't have me hyped. After releasing active skill, deals extra 1000% of attack damage to targets with Taunt Confrontation, with a 40% chance to increase the damage reduction effects of Taunt Confrontation on the target to 40%, reset its duration and reduce the target's damage reduction by 10%. So, what does this mean? For that, we have to check out the active skill. We have 1200% attack damage there, and then we'll deal this to backline enemies, 70% chance to inflict Taunt Confrontation on them, no matter the stance that we have, so we can do this with either stance. And Taunt Confrontation is the Transcendence Taunt version. Active skill and basic attacks of heroes inflicted with Taunt Confrontation will compulsively target the Taunt caster, and this control effect also reduces the affected hero's all damage dealt by 33%. So now we understand why it talks about damage reduction. Because with a 40% chance, this will go from 33% to 40%. Which is sad, but this gets upgraded later down the line. With an 80% chance to increase the damage reduction effect to 66%. So enemies inflicted with Taunt Confrontation would deal 66% less all damage dealt. Which is pretty good. That is actually pretty good. And we can reduce targets' damage reduction with it. Which also helps for targets with damage reduction. Which is fairly nice, but it says after releasing an active skill. So, that being said, probably the damage reduction effect is a little bit mistimed. Because ideally, you would want the damage reduction effect to come in place before your active skill hits. So you debuff the damage reduction, your active skill hits, does more damage, and then you can get all the taunt stuff going. But this would just work afterwards. So a lot of people thereby have asked me whether he's more of a support hero now. The damage reduction effect is kind of more that direction. It is nice, it's a nice debuff, getting rid of damage reduction on the enemy. You can kind of spread this with like DGN and stuff, so it's a good effect. I like it. The Taunt Confrontation is the only way Taunt really makes sense, reducing the enemy's damage dealt by quite a lot. It is, sadly enough, not enough of a damage reduction to survive something like a Valk. So the ideal use for him, for a normal player, would be if you attack like a Valk wave, You hit the Valks, you CC them, and then they can't deal damage to the rest of your team because all the burn and everything goes towards SSM, and you can survive it because it reduces the damage they deal by so much. But this actually doesn't work because 33% or 34% of the damage that remains would still be enough to absolutely burn your SSM to a crisp. Mine, by the way, won't. Also, little downside of Taunt Confrontation that isn't mentioned enough for this. Taunt will be removed when you dazzle an enemy. So if you run Oscar with him, and Oscar is fairly common in the PvE landscape now, actually when Oscar dazzles an enemy that is taunted, the taunt will get removed. So, okay, wait, I'm stupid. No. Other way around, dazzle will get removed and you will put taunt on the enemy. So that way around. Sorry. Apologize for the mistake. If you have dazzle on an enemy, the dazzle will get removed when you taunt them. So that also, well, isn't in the text of like SSM, but it is the way it works. I bet at least one of you guys already wrote the comment that says, "You are wrong, Wraec! You are wrong!" Then we have the next one. When basic attack hits the target, self is in the state of star ascending, increase frontline allies armor, restores HP, and if self is in the state of star descending, deals damage equal to 50% of target's lost HP to the targets with Orb of Rift. So either some buffs or minor damage, 1500%, not too insane. Gets upgraded, the cap stays, which is often the case, so you don't really benefit from this increase too much, and lost HP is also not too good. Armor increase goes up, is pretty worthless basic treasure. When switching into Star Ascending, for every one enemy with Taunt Confrontation on battlefield, restore some HP. He has enough HP restoration, we increase self-damage reduction. Most of the time when you set up a proper SSM, he will also have enough damage reduction, so he doesn't need neither of those two really. A heal is nice, but like not necessarily needed. When switching into Star Descending, for every 2 layers of Awakening owned by self, increase self all damage dealt, which is good, and has a 50% chance to gain 20 energy. Goes up to 8% all damage dealt and 50% chance to gain energy. And honestly, it has me a little bit confused. Because when switching into the state of Star Descending, obviously the blue one in the back row, for every 2 layers of Awakening. It does say Awakening. Not Awakening Energy, Awakening. So you get 1 Awakening once you have 10 layers of Awakening Energy. When you are in Star Ascending, so in the front row, and you take Active Skill Basic Attack, you get 66% chance to get this. There are a few more ways to get this. You restore self some HP. And when you release Active Skill or Basic Attack in Star Descending, you gain 1 Awakening Energy. But once you have like Awakening, and you do an Active Skill, then consumes all layers of Awakening. So you're probably not really likely to have more than 1, which I think is a bit weird. You gain 1 layer of Awakening once you reach 10 layers of Awakening Energy, and then you do the switch. So to actually have 2, you would need to basically go... I have to figure that out myself right now. You would have to be in Star Descending, get like a ton of Awakening Energy, get Awakening, then you would switch to Star Ascending. You would not be allowed to do any ult in Star Ascending. Basically, you would need to get energy drained all the time. And then switch back into Star Descending. And then you would have 2, which would then allow you to get 1 buff, I think. I think then you would get 1 buff. I'm pretty sure this is incorrect. This seems like super bad. For every 2 layers. Yeah. And this is the only way you could get 2 layers. I think they mean Awakening Energy. Because it's just like super bad and wrong otherwise. Yeah. I had all damage dealt, 50% chance to gain 100 energy. The energy gain is nice. Energy gain is nice, I tell you that. The energy gain is nice. And if this is really Awakening Energy, you would get like... You would also not get anything. I don't really understand it. I'll be honest. Maybe I'm stupid, but I don't really understand. Yeah, just go over to the next one. Self takes damage from basic attack or active skill released by target with Taunt Confrontation. Okay, playing into taunt again. Gains 1 layer of edge momentum. Edge momentum stacked to 6 layers. Consumes all of them to immediately deal damage equal to 10% of each backline enemy's max HP. Caps at 3000% of the attacker's attack. Probably referring to SSM. 30% chance to inflict taunt confrontation on targets without it for 2 rounds. Honestly, I don't know if this is something that a normal player wants. For me, it's cool. But if you gen fight like a Wraec stage, this last part gives you a chance to CC the front row. And we can check out the front row for Wraec stage, because we just have this here. Front row for Wraec stage are, I think, for all Wraec stage Wraecs. So you would CC a Wraec that would then just instantly burn your SSM. Which really sucks. Like, it's pretty bad. I wouldn't like that. We can try SSM here though, like with no bets, no setup or anything. Do we even need 5 euros? I don't even need 5 euros. We could throw MFG in there. Just test him out. So, can do triple speed. Could have given him an energy artifact though. I mean, we have... Those are the omens. Why did I get absolutely murdered? Okay, I put some soul power on him. I hope this is now a little bit better. It does at least not seem like we get Uber one-shot. We get Uber one-shot. Okay. Yeah. This carry really hates him somehow. I don't know. I really thought we could test this easier. Maybe we just switch to the second stage. If the carries are to mean there, we can switch down to the second stage. It's a higher holo campaign, I guess. So makes sense. Okay, we got the first bit of taunt, which was instantly removed. I didn't really stick at all. This is crazy. We don't get any taunt. That's mad though. Do they have CC removal, the Patricias? I don't know about Patricia's base kit. Now we had like the switch. Honestly, the first stage would be kind of funny if we survived that and had like a little bit of a test for the awakening energy. Now we got some taunt. And taunt goes instantly removed. They must have some form of CC removal, I guess. I wasn't aware of that. That's horrible. So we don't even get to enjoy the taunt there at all. That's really mad. Let's give them another hit. Maybe this time, Mr. SSM. No, the taunt doesn't stick at all. Is this a bug? Okay, I have to check this out. There we have an F-taunt stick, so it doesn't seem like it always gets removed. We at least have one hero with taunt. Ah, by the way, fun fact, it doesn't actually get hit when he dodges. We have some base dodge here, so some of these abilities really suffered from that. Which is a bit unfortunate. Because the taunt, you can't activate your stuff off of passive skills, but you can dodge active skills and basic attacks. I mean, like against this, it definitely doesn't really work out. I don't even think we have like a proper stage where I could test this against. Okay, I have to take this with me, and we basically have to go and check out whether or not we can do some proper hits there and get you a proper example. And I think we have to revisit that in a video. Am I a big fan of those treasures? No. I think there's a lot of weird stuff in there. I don't like how they went for the taunt stuff. I don't think it is a well-balanced feature right now. And I think people would have liked it more if he had like a treasure that removed the taunt. That's so funny how she got frozen in the animation exactly at this point. That's so crazy. I think a lot of players would have liked that more if they just removed the taunt at all, so that he doesn't have any CC that he can throw in the Wraec stage and basically destroy his team with. I think that would have been more appreciated than the treasures he got now, where when you have that, you can suddenly CC front row Wraec, and every other SSM will die with this. Honestly, I would probably skip those just because of this. I would skip this just because you don't want to get the treasure that can CC the front row Valk. Because it will suck so much. And will basically kill SSM for you against Wraec. Mine doesn't matter because it has burn immunity. It doesn't have carry immunity, obviously, but yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah. Yeah, overall, what can I say? We'll do another video on this. I think we have to do another video on this. This was more like a preview. I don't really like the SSM treasures at all, but we are going to go in this and we are trying to make something with it. I think the TBB treasures are alright though. Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good. So, that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that hype button, and join SG up for some nice Starry Gem giveaways around the anniversary. With that, see us in the next one.